Robert Collins, author of Greater Thoughts, is also a motivational speaker and a mind coach, helping you to untrap your mind. In order to elevate your team, your organization, or your business, visit Robert Collins on theuntrappedmind.com or follow him on Instagram at Greater7Thoughts. That's greater, the number 7 thoughts. Robert Collins says, all success starts with a thought. Now turn that thought into action and go be great.
Above the noise, let positivity reign. Each step I take, I conquer fear and pain. Greater thoughts echo through my mind. Uplifted, I soar, leaving shadows behind. Each word I speak, transforming my fate. In this untrapped mind, I am truly great.
Good morning, good morning. It is your host, Mr. RC. This is the Greater Thoughts Morning Show, and I tell you each and every Thursday that my gratitude is with you. I am so grateful that you allow my voice to come into your hearing this morning. I know you could be doing anything else at 8 a.m. other than listening to me, so I am grateful. Listen, y'all, today I have a conversation that I'm going to have with a good friend of mine. I have him in the studio today, Mr. Dominique McFadden. What's up, Dominique?
What's good with you, Rob?
Man, today we're gonna spark up some conversation that I hope sparks up conversation with your friends, with your family members, with your associates. We're gonna talk about something. See, Reverend Corinne Mack was on the show a couple of weeks back, and she said something in the midst of our show that really struck a chord with me, y'all. I just want to let it be known right off the top that she said something that really grabbed a hold of me, and it's been on my mind a lot. And before I jump into that, I must let you guys know that today's episode is sponsored by the Ivy Hall Foundation here in Charlotte, North Carolina. So I want to thank them for sponsoring today's show. Now, as I was saying, Reverend Mack, while we were talking, made a comment that what happened to the surrogate family, the surrogate parent? And I said, ooh, that's good, Reverend Mack. And so she wasn't talking about you carrying the baby for somebody else, women. She's talking about the old African proverb, it takes a village to raise a child. I ain't gonna even lie to you. I heard that so much, I thought it was in the book of Proverbs in the Bible. But it's an African proverb, you know. It takes a village to raise a child. It takes a village to raise your family. And Dominique is a brother that's in my village. That's right. And I appreciate him for being a part of my village. We have children that are very, very close in age. Our boys often say that each other are each other's best friends. But because Dominique and I have been in a friendship relationship for over 15 years and the kids are only 11 and 12, they didn't have a choice but to be friends.
That's right. No choice.
Dominique, when you think the surrogate family or the surrogate parent, what's your initial thoughts?
I think about my initial thought is it's something that I agree with her. It's something that's kind of lost out here. You know, people in the neighborhood don't look out for each other's kids the way they used to. It probably takes more of these type of relationships to get that going. But back in the day, shoot, if I'm going down the street and I'm doing something bad, my mama knew before I can get back home. You know, everybody was looking out for each other.
That's good. That's good. So we're going to talk about it, y'all. We're going to just go ahead and dive into it. It's going to just be my perception, Dominique's perception. It may be your perception. It may not be your perception, but I'm going to tell you, you can always go to Greater 7 Thoughts on Instagram. You can go to the YouTube page, Greater 7 Thoughts. You can go to my website, theuntrappedmind.com, and leave me your comments. I love to read some of your thought processes out there. Might even turn that into an episode. I don't know. But at the end of the day, I'm hoping that this sparks conversation for you. And there's some areas that I'm going to touch on that I'm already thinking about that I know is going to be touchy. And it's going to be some folks that don't want me to talk about it, don't want me to say some of the things that I may say. But what y'all do know is that I'm always thinking about what's best for the people. And I'm Black, and I'm going to just go ahead and say it. I always think about what's best for the Black people, right?
Right.
But I don't just stop there. I think about what's best for people, right? Because at the end of the day, we all bleed red.
That's right.
And so when I think about the surrogate, I really first thing comes to my mind is my parents.
Mhm.
My parents used to often talk about growing up, and I know some of y'all like that's child abuse, but I'm gonna say it anyway. So they used to talk about how the neighbor down the street could get a switch and whoop your butt.
Mhm. That's right.
The neighbor down the street could whoop your behind if you was out there acting a fool,
Mhm.
and then call your mama or your daddy. And when you get home, you get your behind whooped again.
Twice.
Now I can't sit here and tell you at my age of 48, I'll tell you how old I am, that I've ever been through that. But I can tell you that Mr. Robinson down the street could tell me what to do.
Mhm.
Mr. Swan down the street could tell me what to do.
That's right.
Mr. and Miss Honeysuckle could tell me what to do. Mr. and Miss Anderson could tell me what to do. And I can go through a whole bunch of other
That's
names
right.
of people that were in the community.
Mhm.
Even the lady on the block that didn't have kids could tell me what to do
That's right.
if we were outside doing something.
Mhm.
And even if we weren't outside doing something that was bad, you know, because we weren't really bad kids, my friends and I. But even if we were doing something that wasn't bad, she still could give us direction.
That's right. That's right.
And I'm gonna just go ahead and jump out the window, and Dominique, you can jump in any way. You know, talk like we do, right?
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm down. Let's go.
Right now, first things first, God rest the young man's soul.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
God rest the young man's soul, and my condolences go out to his family.
Mhm.
But here we go. We want to have sit-ins.
Mhm. That's right.
We want to protest.
That's right.
We want to riot.
That's right.
We want to abuse the person that's been abused but defended themselves.
That's right.
But we don't want to take accountability.
That's the word that's missing.
Let me say it again then. We don't want to take accountability as communities for the people that's doing the nonsense when the nonsense didn't start the day that something happened to him.
I like that.
The young man loses his life in a store by someone of a different ethnicity,
Mhm.
and now it's a race thing.
That's right.
But the reality of it is, and I wasn't there.
Yeah.
I don't know this young kid, but from what I heard, and believe half of what you hear. I mean, half of what you see and none of what you hear. But from what I heard,
Mhm.
is the little boy was known for having a gun.
Mhm.
So now, if you're gonna riot, tear the store up, act a fool,
Mhm.
protest, who was acting a fool, rioting, protest, and having sit-ins for this young man when he got the weapon in the beginning?
That's the question that I have. I 100%. I've been trying my best to stay up on top of the story and things like that. You know, the way that it came out, the way the story came out, it seems like the young man was seeming to be on the up and up. I think he was told to put his bag down when he first got to the store. He did. Um, it kind of takes me back to an old California situation with a young lady, like in the early '90s, where they thought that she was trying to steal something. Come to find out wasn't, shot her. The whole situation played out. I do agree with the family. I think the whole situation played out horrible. The problem that I do have with the situation is once everything settled down, they found a gun on the young man. I have an issue with that. I saw a interview today, and the gentleman was saying, "You want to know why the gentleman had a 14-year-old had a gun because of situations like this? Because nonsense. 14 years old with a gun. Why? Why?
And here's another piece. Like, honestly, it probably should be 25 or 30, right?
Mhm.
Just being 100.
Yeah.
The frontal lobe of the brain does not,
Come on, man.
completely is not completely developed.
That's right.
That's why you're 21 before you're able to get a handgun.
That's right.
And I don't even understand why 18 allows you a rifle, because at the end of the day, I can go build an AR-15 at 18.
Yeah, right now.
And the AR-15, once I throw that super safety in it, is more vicious than the kid with the Glock with a switch on the back. The Glock is illegal. The super safety isn't. And it's hard. One of the things they like to say is he must be a Republican because he believes in guns. No, I'm not a Republican because I believe in guns. I'm not a Democrat because I believe in guns.
That's right.
I'm a person that likes to be able to protect themselves, and I like to go to the range occasionally.
That's right.
It doesn't mean that I'm a certain party affiliate.
That's right.
Because I'm talking about guns and super safeties and switches and whether they should be allowed or not. That makes no difference, right?
That's right.
But what we're talking about here is kids having weapons, and if you want to say the word, of mass destruction.
That's your weapons of mass destruction. Yes.
Because it could be a mass shooting when a 14-year-old, 12-year-old, 16-year-old, continuing 18-year-old have a weapon that their brain isn't at the capacity of understanding, that they need to be more logical than emotional when they are carrying a weapon.
And that's what's going on now. Like just emotions. That's everybody's going on right now. Emotions. Definitely when you're a teenager.
Definitely. And I don't want to stay on this subject too long because it's a sensitive subject. And I don't mind getting on sensitive subjects.
I don't mind either. It's all good.
At the end of the day, I want that family to be able to, not have to worry about it coming up everywhere they see. But what I'm talking about, or what we're talking about here, is the environment that we as people are raising the youth in.
That's right. That's right.
That, like, let's just stay right there in that circle, right? Let's stay in there. When I was young, again, you were raised by more than just your parents.
That's right.
Even if it was a single parent home, the mother or the father allowed other people to, as the old folks would say, rear you up.
That's right. Rear you up. Hey, old school sayings right there.
Now, look, I'll go a step further. I'm from Chicago, as you know. And as some of you that are listening know, maybe this is your first time listening. From the south side, south suburbs of Chicago, born in Chicago Heights, Illinois, right? That's where I'm from. But when I was growing up, gangs was big. Man, it didn't make a difference if you was a GD, Vice Lord, BD, CVL, Insane. I can go through a whole bunch of them, right? Blackstone, whatever it was. There was hierarchy. There was ranks.
That's right. Yeah.
And the younger kids follow what the older people said, right? You didn't just jump out there and do things.
You saw your big homie.
And at some point in time, I noticed, and I can't put a point on it on the time, but at some point in time, I noticed somewhere in the earlier part of the 2000s that the thing of an OG just became a name. The thing of the big bro just became a word. It's because of your age, not necessarily because of your tutelage to them. It became more of a, he old and I'm young, so he Unc.
That's right.
Not that Unc has been through some things and has some wisdom and knowledge for you. And so kids are not getting that because, unfortunately, the 14-year-old kid, if we're talking, a little bit on the hooder side,
that's right,
or let's say this, the side that's not so economically,
I like that,
in that same, because a lot of things that happen in lower income areas don't happen where there's, plentiful, where they're in a plentiful environment.
It doesn't tend to happen that way. Yes.
It's just less.
Yes.
It's less because the struggle is greater.
That's right.
And wherever the struggle is greater, crime is greater.
Yes.
Wherever the struggle is greater, trauma is greater.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
And so, but the thing about when you're in an area where there's a lot of trauma, there's a lot of people that have had a lot of trauma that they can talk to you about so that you can be able to handle that trauma better.
That's how it should be. That's how it should be. I don't think it goes on like that these days.
So why?
I don't know. I deal with youth sports. I deal with youth sports, and I have seen a change in the youth. And man, I think now just because you old, you don't know nothing. You can't tell me anything. You're old. You don't know how it goes. You don't know. And I know when we were younger, we had a piece of that.
Of course,
Yeah, we had a
said,
piece of that.
you know, at the end of the day, and I'm gonna just cut you for 1 second. You
Yeah.
go right back to it.
Yeah.
None of us ever think that our parents was the age that we are.
That's right. Nah. They weren't never 40 something. They were, yeah. Man, I don't know. I think it was just we were taught to see things differently. We were taught that Mr. Such and Such right there, he knows what's up. You ought to give him ear. And I was told that from my dad. I was told that from my mom. I was told, whoever the case may be, who introduced to me to Mr. Such and Such that live a couple of houses down. That's how I was introduced to him, as someone who has knowledge to share. That's how I was, that's how I was introduced to him. Now, I think almost if you introduce like that, man, that's that kind of vibe you get. And I really don't truly understand where it's coming from, but it doesn't stop me from working against it though, because that's what I do with the youth sports. I tell everybody I run my mouth for 12U Mallard Creek Chargers. That's what I tell everybody I do. I coach, but I run my mouth for them because that's what I do. I'm in the kids' ears. I'm trying to teach them how to handle mentally the things that are going on, and teaching them that how these things reflect out here. And a lot of them are getting ready to go to the 7th grade. Things are about to change. How your teacher handles you is about to change. I'm not going to be reminding you as much. So I'm in their ear just kind of teaching them that. A lot of times I get a lot of pushbacks on minute things that I'm thinking that kids, oh, he'll listen to me on this. Come to find out, no, I don't know anything, but it doesn't stop me from continuing to say it. And if I'm put in these positions, I'm going to continue to say it.
We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. We're going to finish where we left off. Here's a commercial from the Ivy Hall Foundation.
Get ready for the Ivy Hall Foundation Juneteenth Jazz Festival this Saturday, June 6th from 2 to 7 p.m. Incredible music with a powerful mission at 2613 Hutchinson McDonald Road. Delicious food, vibrant culture, and a featured cigar bar, and high-energy sounds of premier jazz saxophonist Shablik. Grab your family, your friends, and your tickets today on Eventbrite or at ivyhallfoundationinc.org. That's ivyhallfoundationinc.org. See you Saturday.
Welcome back. Listen, Juneteenth, y'all. It's the Jazz Fest here in the city of Charlotte. Make sure you go ahead and get your tickets. Don't let that Michael Porter trio miss you. It's going to be good. Jazz Fest. $40, that's not much. Nowadays, you can't even get a half a tank of gas for $40, so go ahead and get that ticket. Yeah, it cost me $105 to put gas in my truck the other day. Yes. So look, for less than half a tank of gas, you can go out with your family and enjoy the Jazz Fest for Juneteenth. Brought to you again by the sponsors of today's show, the Ivy Hall Foundation. Now listen, well, if you're just tuning in, it's Rob and Dominique, and we're talking about the surrogate parent, which was brought to my attention that I should have this to talk about by Reverend Corinne Mack, head of the NAACP here in Charlotte. And as Dominique was saying right before we went to the commercial break, that he was the voice. And so I want to ask you, who are you using your voice for? What is your voice being used for? Who are you screaming out for? Is it just for yourself, or are you using it for these kids? Are you using it for this youth? Are you using it for these young adults that have been misguided? Or how about this? Just not guided. And it really makes me think about, I'll just talk about myself for a second. And, one thing that I really appreciate is my upbringing.
Yes.
Because my mom, and I don't know if my dad was okay with it, but my mom just did it. All the homies was able to spend the night at my house.
Yeah.
They all came over. My mama was like everybody's mama.
My mom too.
And to this day, they still be like Mama D, Mama Collins.
Yep.
Like to this day. And so I look to do that for the people that are in my environment now in my neighborhood, I have a basketball rim outside. So all the kids are welcome. Even when my kids are not outside,
Yes.
the kids are welcome to come play ball in my yard.
Yes.
As long as they are respectful.
That's it. And sometimes you got to help guide them in that area, because a lot of people don't. I was saying that, as far as being the voice, there's a young gentleman that's in the neighborhood. Not gonna lie to you, when I very first saw him, and when I say young gentleman, I'm talking about 6, 7 years old, little kid. I would just see the way that he was maneuvering, and in my mind, I bad little kid. He stays a little bit up the way, so I didn't see him as much. My son is a little bit older, so he didn't quite hang out down that area. I feel like the older he's gotten, he's kind of ventured his way down a little bit more. And I never did really say much to him, even though I started seeing him do some things that I felt like he needed to be, just corrected a little bit in the way that you go about it. And so one day I decided to say something to him. This particular situation was about me seeing him get off the bus, book bag on, and he doesn't go home. He likes to come down and try to hang out with some of the other kids that are down the way, or some of the other kids that are on the bus. And I'm doing some little work and stuff outside, and one day I just decided to call him over. Hey man, you just not getting off the school bus? And I got some yes sir for him. Surprised me. Didn't know that that's what I would get. I said, man, have you ever thought about when you get off the bus, going and checking in at the house? He's a little bit loud he has a longer leash than I think I was giving
free range.
Oh yeah, 7 years old, a little bit too much. But hey, that's the household. But if he's gonna be down my way, why not say something? Hey, you get off the bus, go check in with your parents real quick before you come out. Seems like they allow you to come down and play, but you just got off the school bus. Go check in, take your book bag, take your, your school clothes. Back in the day, I couldn't play in my school clothes. In my mind, I'm just thinking, hey, go home, check in right quick, and then come on back down here. Matter of fact, if you want to shoot some ball, you can shoot some ball. I got a goal in my yard too. But how about just going to check in? Yes, sir. Surprised me. Now, when I see him all the time, he speaks, everything like that. And it was just a cool dynamic switch. And I don't know what took me so long to say something to him, but I'm happy that I did.
And I'm going to tell you this, a lot more people, I believe, will be happier with themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So let me say this. It's Greater Thoughts Morning Show, y'all. So let me go ahead and say it.
Mm-hmm.
Love. The word love. Yes, it's patience.
Mm-hmm.
It's not keeping records.
Mm-hmm.
But there's something else called correction.
Yes.
And if I love you, I correct you. And how do the word say, how do you love your neighbor? But not love your neighbor, but say you love God, who you never seen, with your neighbors there every day, right?
Come on.
So we're talking about kids here.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to be as an adult. So let me just say that. As an adult, you have to be willing to show love, and sometimes it comes through correction.
That's right.
And that correction doesn't have to be, as they said back in the day, the neighbor down the road will whoop you with a switch.
Yeah.
But how about a conversation?
That's right.
To let them know you care. Because look, there's a whole cemetery full of kids, youth, that are dead because someone didn't take a moment to let them know that they love them through a conversation.
Just a second, man. That's all it takes, is just a second.
Yes, you have some parents that's rude. You got some parents that's ignorant. Mm-hmm. But guess what? Those parents are dealing with trauma that they haven't addressed.
That's right.
Those parents are dealing with things that they didn't know how to deal with. And so that's why they found it okay.
Mm-hmm.
Or how about this? They don't find it okay. They just don't know how to articulate it.
That's right.
But guess what you do?
Hey,
you listening. You know how to articulate it.
That's right.
You know how to tell them, it's all right. Let me tell you this. Let me show you this. Hey, I know your son is acting up or your daughter acting up. Try this.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of, I'm not going to say nothing to her because she ratchet as they are.
Yeah. See,
I'm not going to say nothing to him because All they seem to do is see that he drunk all the time. I'm not gonna say nothing to him because he might cuss me out. So what is a cuss word? You
That's
done cuss
right.
before?
Yeah, plenty. No community, man.
But
Community.
the thing is we do have community.
Mhm.
The thing is what community are you in?
Well, you better talk. That's a very valid question.
So to you as the listener, I'm asking you, what community are you in? Because if your community is not conducive of growth for your family, your future, then it's time for you to change your community.
Got to.
And listen, you don't have to change your community by changing everybody in your community. You can add one person to your community, and you don't know what that one person may bring into your life.
To your life, to the people's lives who you allow to go outside of your house. You know, that person, I could tell you for a fact, there was a neighbor of mine, living next door to my grandmother, and my dad was allowed to, speak into the young gentleman's life. And I know that his relationship with me was built off of just that type of communication. My dad was allowed to say something to him. His dad was allowed to say something to me. And we were all leading, each other, he and I leading each other down the right path because we were all being pumped in the right way.
I talked about this before, force multiplier.
Come on.
When the force multiplier, when you have one person aiming for a target, that you're going to hit the target, but it's not going to be the same as if you have multiples aiming at the same target. It's going to push you faster and further, and your accuracy is going to be better. So what I'm saying to you guys as listeners is to pay attention to who is in your environment, who you allow in your environment, and I'm not going to tell you to judge people, but judge their actions, y'all.
That's right. That's right.
Leave God to judging the people.
That's right.
How about you judge their actions? If their actions don't align with taking you to the highest self of yourself that you can be, or your children, or your friends, or your children's children,
that's right,
then you need to start figuring out ways to, prune them.
Influence is what?
No, yes, influence is wonderful, Dominique. The influence is so important, but you got to prune them. A tree grows better when you chop off the bad stems,
that's right,
the bad branches.
That's right.
You get the proper nutrients coming to the right places so that what's there can grow.
Come on.
But see, here's the thing. The more you take care of the soil, the more you take care of the amount of light that comes to it, the less pruning you'll have to do.
Daggone right, you talking now, boy.
The less pruning you have to do.
That's right.
And so the best way to save yourself from having to, as they say, write off a person, you pour into them.
Pour into them. I'm talking about pour into them as much as you can. Hey, man, let me holler at you just right quick. And I ain't even talking about nothing crazy. Like, hey, you ever thought about such and such, such and such? Or I love to ask, especially right here at the end of school, hey, man, what your grades looking like? Hey, man, hey, come on, holler at me. Hey, I see you down here, man. How you doing school this year? Man. Oh, I did. Hey, well, how about this? Next year, if you didn't do as good as you thought you should, next year, holler at me. Matter of fact, I'm going to holler at you and we're going to get some things together. I know some programs. I'm going to give you some paper to get to your mom, to your dad. I'm going to make sure that you good. You cool with that? Yeah, I'm cool with that. Thank you.
And listen, anybody that's a decent parent, and I said decent, I ain't say great.
They ain't got to be.
Anybody that's a decent parent want their children to be better than who they were.
Come on.
So what I'm going to say is talk to the children, but don't be afraid to talk to the parent, because when you tell a parent that you see something positive in their child, they'll listen. That's right. It's a way to communicate to a parent. I don't care how ignorant you think that parent is. You tell them that you see something positive in their child and you watch them be open and receptive to what you have for them. Dominique, this episode is already over, bro. Man. We need to do this again.
Hey, and I'm more than willing. I think this is something that should be talked about quite a bit.
Yeah, we're going to bring this back, y'all. It's already at that time. Dominique, before we leave, I already got to do it. I got to tell you one more thing.
Talk to me.
All success starts with a thought. Take those thoughts, turn them into action, and go be great. Listen, y'all, the surrogate parent, the surrogate family, the surrogate leader, Be that in somebody's life today. Choose to make the decision that you want to be the proponent to push someone, some kids, some lives forward. God bless. We'll see you next Thursday. Well, I'll be talking with a gentleman that owns a restaurant here in Charlotte that's been going crazy. Tap in. We'll see you next week.
In the silence of the night, when dark creeps in, I hear that whispering voice pulling me from within.